That whole mindset that all I care about is myself and my pleasure. What does that do? What does that do for you mentally? Nothing good. When you constantly live in a cycle of how can I instantly gratify myself, the downs are real fucking low. It's gonna be a great year. It's gonna be a great life altogether, right? What does it mean to have that conviction? I will have a great life. I will do the things that I would like to and need to in this life. What does that mean? Well, I guess it just depends on who you feel like you are and who you want to be. And if you even have a general idea of who you want to be. Because we all go through life in different ways. We all conceptualize everything a little bit differently based on our environment, based on our parents, based on pretty much every factor that is a part of our life, and then how we react. How we react habitually. That is going to make up our habits. That's going to make up our beliefs. It's going to make up pretty much every area of our life when it comes to how we perceive everything. Okay, so we're very emotional creatures, obviously, right? We're humans. So what we do is we emotionalize just about everything that we don't choose not to emotionalize, right? So because in our society that we live in, our emotions are not very controlled, generally speaking. Why is that? Well, if you ask me, it's because you are the easiest to be taken advantage of and made money off of when someone speaks to your emotions. And, I don't mean that in a very negative way. I mean, there's plenty of situations where we feel pain, we feel some sort of negative emotion, and there's something that can fix what's causing that. There's some sort of value that can be added from some sort of service or product that can fix that emotion, that can fix that feeling that we feel from whatever that negative situation is. Right? And that's value. That's value conversion, or transfer, I should say. So, we're easy to be. Those emotions allow for us to be, I wouldn't say exploited, because again, we all need different things. We all would love to have solutions to our problems that someone else has figured out. I mean, that is the basis of civilization, right? Okay, we came together. We all lived individually, and things didn't go very well. We're always fighting. We don't have the resources that we would like to have. Plenty of people don't have the resources that they need to survive. So what do? We come together. We create barter systems. We create systems that help one another live more effectively. We say, okay, I was raised in this environment, and I farm, right? For example, I know how to farm. I know how to raise a farm and create goods that other people may necessarily not know how to do. All right, down the road, Timmy, he knows how to fish, right? All right, we're trading fish for farm goods, for a very basic example, right? So you have to understand, it helps to understand, I should say, that life is all about the value transfer, right? It's all about what you can give to someone else. And there's a quote that said many times before, if you help many other people get what they want, you automatically, in return, receive what you want. Okay? So I go as far to say that the most genuine people, they give the most value because they realize that our entire purpose in a civilization is to help one another, is to help foster a more purposeful society, right? Because we're only as good as the next man. We're getting a little deep here. I mean, let's take it a little bit deeper. What is the next man? What is the next person? Why are we together on this earth together. Well, in our society, we seem to be divided more and more every day, every year. When we're all the same human, right? I mean, in a way, we're all the same spirit. If you choose to think about spirituality at all, and I mean in all realms, I don't just mean one religion. I believe that all religions, as I've said before, were all created and deciphered from whatever higher power you believe in for the purpose of humans living more effectively. Right? Just to live more effectively. Just to live life with more purpose. To help one another out. And what's the opposite of that, for example? Satanism. We'll say Satanism, whatever you want to call it. Satanism is all about ego. It's all about being all for yourself. Not caring what anybody else has going on or is about or anything like that. Only caring about yourself and what you want. Okay? And I'm sure it gets much deeper than that, but that is what I've deciphered. A lot of ego, right? That's the opposite of what's good for the world. If you're only ever caring about yourself, well, in fact, we see that a lot with people nowadays. They're not necessarily Satanists, but they only care about themselves. They overeat. They overindulge in every pleasure you could possibly imagine. They overdrink. They overwatch TV. I mean, heck, we all do it at times because it's that easy to in our current society. That whole mindset that all I care about is myself and my pleasure, what does that do? What does that do for you mentally? Nothing good. When you constantly live in a cycle of how can I instantly gratify myself, the downs are real fucking low. You know why? Because the highs they're momentary. They're silly. They're founded in nothingness, right? It's because you're not helping one another out. You're not helping somebody else out. All you're doing is helping yourself. And as humans, we're not made for that. We're made to prevent pain, to stop pain. The basis of pleasure was originally just not being in pain. Seriously, think about how different our society is than, say, when we were cavemen, or even when we were in the Middle Ages and we were knights and had knights and kingdoms and there was constant wars going on and we could, swords and everything else, right? That's a very, very basic explanation, right? But seriously, think about it. Think about a time from like that, however many hundreds, thousands of years ago, to now. We have people that constantly seek pleasure. They don't even... Pain is like... It's hard. It's so hard. When we complain about it, all some people do is complain about it. Whereas 100, 200, 300, 1,000 years ago, pain was all you knew. You woke up, it was cold, you got to work. If you were a peasant, well, your life was really hell. Even if you were higher in the hierarchical system, your life was still hell. Even if you were a king, it was still hell compared to now. Because you had to make hard choices. There was no air conditioning, heating and air. None of the modern niceties that we know. We lived more purposeful. Because we had to. There was no pleasure-driven lifestyle. Sure, in some, kingdoms, there was probably some kings and queens and whatever that had it so nice compared to everybody else. But at the end of the day, again, there's no modern niceties that we know. Okay? So, learn how to detach from what you know in your life. Take yourself up to 10,000 feet. You might have heard it said like that before. And look at everything subjectively. First analyze and try to interpret why you feel certain ways about the situations in your life. Become mindful of your emotions. If you do this, you do it long enough, you will become much more conscientious and you will become much more of a addition and benefit to the world. And when you start to do that more and more, life just feels better. It just feels better and better, right? I mean, there's still ups and downs, of course, just like anything. But living completely for oneself and only wanting to relieve your own pain and only pleasure yourself, it is a empty, sad, dark hole that you will fall into and lay there forever, because it is filled with false niceties that only further the problem. So, if you like this, leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends. Let's have a better life, guys. Let's do things to help one another and make the world a better place. Because at the end of the day, it's one person at a time.